show. We're going to do the live show, but we're also going to do his show, sort of all combined into one. What's up, brother?
Not too much. How are you doing?
Things are good, man. I mean, all things considering, not too bad.
Episode number 90. That's
90, man. You got a good number there.
That's almost 100, man. You're really cruising.
Man, it's this whole podcast thing started when Wednesdays were a really slow day at my restaurant. Like this was so this is what episode 90, obviously, but it's I mean, my math is really bad, but that's 90 weeks in a row, man. So it's crazy. It's kind of crazy. But yeah,
we're on. Okay, so we just put out 14, and it's already a ton of work. And I mean, every show has its own flavor. It has its own format.
Yeah, for sure.
Putting on a show, finding guests. I don't know if people really understand like the kind of work that goes into it, right, man?
They do not. That's why when you hit me up, I'm like, that's perfect. Let's do both of ours together, because this week I've been making tamales all last week this week, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I haven't found a guest. And then, because people are like, yeah. And then no, I want to wait for the wings. No, I want to do this. I'm like, we can do the wings when like me and you, like when we're done, when all this COVID stuff is done, we'll come by and we'll do a wing show as well, for sure.
Oh,
I appreciate it, man. It's crazy.
You do your own version of hot ones, man.
so my thing is basically, I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan, right? I think probably most podcasters are, I would guess, right? And a huge fan of hot ones, right?
Yep, hot ones.
And we sell obviously Mexican food, and we do pretty good wings. And so we were doing half price wings on a Wednesday.
Yep.
And I mean, Wednesday just sucked. I don't know why. It was just dead. And I thought, okay, but I would, when my restaurant's slow, if I have a chance, I'll jump on the scooter and I'll zip around and I'll see, like, is it everybody or what are we doing? So everywhere was just slow. This area was just dead on a Wednesday. So, okay, it is what it is. You can either sit there or you can try to figure something out. So I said, I love the people that I get to meet in the restaurant. Let's do a podcast. Let's get customers in, and you get to meet some cool people, some cool stories. And sometimes over a beer, you hear like the best story.
Oh yeah.
And so,
totally.
so I figure Rogan, hot ones, that's Wings Wednesday. Let's do wings. I was going to start with tacos, but I thought tacos is Taco Tuesday, and Tuesdays is actually quite a busy day. So I don't really want to cut my restaurant in half on a busy day, where I'll be like telling people, no, you can't get your tacos. I'm doing a podcast, right? So I was like, let's do Wednesday, because Wednesday sucks. We'll do half price wings, and we'll just do like our version of hot ones. We make hot sauces here.
Yeah.
And there are other hot sauce places in town that are making some good ones. And so I try to get those guys get their sauces on, and it doesn't have to just be about me, right? So yeah, that's kind of how it started. And eventually, go ahead.
What's the guy's name? That guy that does all the sauce. He's always bringing in like the ghost chilies, and he had didn't he actually get some Carolina Reapers into Taiwan? I thought that was pretty nuts.
Yeah, there's a couple of farms here that grow.
What?
So we actually they grow them. So we get jalapenos, scorpion peppers, Carolina Reapers. Not a lot. We can get, I would say 2 to 3 times a year, they'll have a big batch. So we got to buy as much as we can. And I have like 2 massive freezers, like chest freezers at home. And it's just full of like Carolina Reapers and jalapenos and stuff. Ideally, you could get them fresh and do them, but you just can't here. Yeah.
I've done some ghost chili sauces. Those are pretty rough, but I hear the Reaper is like at another level. I've not experienced it. And I love hot stuff. I love hot stuff, but they think it's like you feel like your whole body's burning, right?
It's I mean, you get used to it after like 90 episodes. But man, the first few weeks was rough. And I think the guy you were probably talking about is there's one guy who does it. He's called Flavor of the World. His name is Brian Hopkins.
Yes.
And so he's got some good sauces. And one time he was telling me that when he's making his hot sauces, before he does all that stuff, he'll take a little bit of water and a little bit of baking soda, and he'll like, I don't know, alkalize his stomach or whatever the word he used.
Yeah.
And when you're doing a lot of hot stuff, it's not going to destroy your stomach. So I thought, okay, you know what? Because my stomach is taking a beating these first couple of weeks. But I said, you know what? I'm going to try that. And so things you're getting down and it's spicy and stuff. And I forgot because there's so many things to do. So I forget completely. And then after I get home and I'm like, oh, my stomach hurts. I'm like, baking soda. So I do the baking soda thing afterwards. Right. Yeah. And as soon as the baking soda hit my stomach, it was like, I never had so much pain in my stomach. It was just like, I'm like trying to find a spot. Then I'm like on all fours in the bathroom. My wife walks in. She's like, are you all right? And I said, yeah, I think so. She's like, do you need to go to the hospital? And I'm like, I don't think so. And then 30 more seconds of pain. And I'm like, maybe just hold on. If it keeps going like this for a couple more minutes, we might. So I just went to the fridge and grabbed like milk, and I drank like 2 or 3 liters of milk until it was bearable. Right. And then I was like, okay, I slept sitting down. And I'm like, the next day I was like, okay, note to self, don't do it after. Yeah. Right. That hurt. Yeah. I mean, the first thing I thought of when the pain was coming out was those old high school experiments with the volcano and the vinegar and the baking soda. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm an idiot, So yeah, it was painful. Yeah.
But that's super fun. I love like the fact I will post pandemic. I'll come in for wings. I'm in.
Yeah, man. I mean, today was what, 70, 78, 79 new cases. So we're under 100 for 2 days in a row. Yeah. Which is great. Oh man.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, please. Yeah. Because like we were just chatting about earlier, the small businesses it's a little tough, man. It's a little tough for sure.
Yeah. I mean, half capacity would go a long way, right? For you guys?
Oh my God, for sure. Like we'll do UFCs, right?
Yeah.
And we pack them out for UFCs. And I mean, I've been showing UFCs since, oh my God, it's been like 10 years. So it'd be like one more guy the next week. And so it took a long time to get it to the point where you find a group of people in Taiwan that like UFC, right? Yeah. So it's not popular here. So basically, it's getting better.
There. It's getting there. Yeah. There's definitely like certain moments. McGregor, I feel like, was a big moment.
That guy's the best, man. Anytime he fights, it's packed. There was a point where I had 2 restaurants, and I mean, McGregor fights, it's packed. You get random people like, okay, Mayweather and McGregor.
Yep.
I was getting phone calls. I remember this one particular girl who would come in and she's vegetarian, and she's super sweet. She saves dogs and stuff like that. And she's, I see she calling me. I'm like, what? This girl she doesn't call me. Like, she's a customer. We're not close or anything. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, hey, I have a question. I'm like, what's up? She's like, are you showing the Mayweather McGregor fight? And I'm like, what? And she's like, are you showing the Mayweather McGregor fight? Me and a few people want to come and watch it. I'm like, really? I'm like, for sure I'm showing it, but wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it was crazy. Mayweather and McGregor. That was a monster fight.
Not to take it off on a tangent.
Well, the builder. Yeah.
Well, this is actually really interesting because I thought that we might actually end up talking about this. So how do you feel about like the Jake Paul, McGregor, Mayweather, all like the fact that boxing has become a little bit of like a spectacle right now? I mean, I know you're like way more hardcore about UFC, but boxing, everyone's saying that UFC is now like the only legit fighting sport right now because boxing has turned into a bit of a spectacle. And I think that's sad.
It's sad because boxing, I mean, I love UFC and I love MMA and I'm a big ONE FC fan and I love it. All the local fights. Shout out to all the local guys, WOTD and Pro FC and all those guys. I go watch those all. And boxing is I mean, I watched boxing when I was a kid with my dad, Julio Cesar Chavez, right?
Yeah. Huge in boxing.
Like my family's Mexican.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's huge. Like, I'm sure you're a big Canelo fan. I'm a huge Canelo fan.
Of course, yeah, Canelo.
Canelo's amazing. God,
we love Canelo, yeah.
Oh my God. He's the best. But why it sucks that the boxing is like there's too many different belts. There's too many different like weight classes. Everyone's like making weight or cutting weight, but it's like what's the value of these belts when there's so many of them? It's like they ruined the sport, right?
To be honest, I don't watch that much boxing. I'll watch Canelo.
Oh yeah.
I'll try to. I'll watch. I like the I didn't really watch that much of the heavyweight as well, but like Tyson Fury, I like. And Deontay Wilder, I'll watch him. Anthony Joshua. So those 3 guys, if they fight, I want to watch it. But aside, there's that one guy, Lomachenko, who's just amazing, right?
Cool,
so I love to watch him. But aside from that, I mean, there's just so many boxers out there that I don't really know. I have no idea. Yeah. But for the UFC, I've been watching it for a long time, and it's good. I've been following for a long time. So back to the question, Jake Paul and Logan Paul, definitely wasn't a fan in the beginning. Definitely wasn't a fan. But the one thing that I really liked that Jake Paul did was when he stole Mayweather's hat. He took his cap. That was it was dumb, but it was awesome at the same time, because I thought it's just like nobody would ever do that to Mayweather.
No.
Right? And it was just like, and Mayweather got so pissed, and it was like, okay, he gets a few points there from me for sure. Because that was cool, but I mean, he's gonna fight. Jake Paul's gonna fight Tyron Woodley. Yeah, that's a tough fight. That might be the end of it. I can't really see him beating Woodley. Yeah.
What made me mad is like I felt like Mayweather should have ended it, right? But Mayweather did what he does, and he's always like, and this has been the longest complaint about Mayweather, is that he just goes for the decision because it's the easiest way out for him, and it didn't make any sense. Yeah, like it didn't make any sense. Exactly, right. So why everyone wanted they were booing by the what was it? It wasn't a full 12 rounder. It was what, 8 rounds? Eight. Yeah, they did 8 right? Rounds. 8, I think. And by the 8, like the crowd was booing because everyone was like, "You're better than this. You're better than this." Right.
Yeah, it was crazy because Mayweather is beat. I mean, obviously the McGregor fight, that's one thing, but he's beat. Canelo was younger, but he's beat Canelo, and he's beat Pacquiao. He's basically beat everybody, right?
Well, he beat Pacquiao's controversial because he took that Pacquiao fight when Pacquiao was way too late, and he knew it. Yeah. He knew it was past his prime, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's smart. I don't know. I mean, I didn't think he'd fight Logan Paul, but he did. Logan Paul was huge, and it was like, oh my God, he's so much bigger. But you still know that, I mean, Mayweather is just he's going to do what you think he's going to do. Just let the guy punch himself out like Conor did, and then just kind of finish him off. But he didn't finish Logan Paul, which was kind of crazy, man. I'm not going to lie.
Logan Paul's got a bit of a chin. I mean,
he did. Yeah, he did. It's just like he does, and it's just wow. I mean, I couldn't believe that. But I thought, I don't know. I was definitely not a fan at all of the Pauls, but when he stole the cap, I was like, okay, you got some points for that one, because it's just so, who would think of doing that to Mayweather? Nobody, right? Yeah, and it's just like a punk kid, like, got your hat, and then he changed his Twitter name to Got Your Hat, and it was like, that's funny. I'm like, okay, I'll take that. All right. But I don't think that I don't know, Tyron Woodley's a tough one because he's got good hands, man. We got to see them face off. I don't think he's going to be that much bigger than Woodley, but I have to see. But Woodley's amazing. I mean, when he was on top, he was the best, and he's come down a little bit, but I think he's still more than enough to beat Jake Paul.
I just think it's a shame that it's all become boxing has just become all about the paycheck. I'll take any fight that pays, and the fans, and the worst thing is the fans aren't they dig it, right? And so I guess you can't blame. We live in a capitalist society. It is supply and demand.
Unfortunately, the pay is not that great apparently for the UFC. If you're not the top guy, look at this. No, not at all. We're not on a green screen right now. We're actually open. We're not open, but we're on break. But people are picking up tamales.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man.
Crazy time. Yeah. No, bro. So we just actually check this out. We got. Let me see if this works. Yeah. Boom. Nee, how's it going?
Yeah.
Couldn't even finish the line. There you go. Yeah. He came on. We had a good show.
Yeah.
We got a couple comments from him.
Tomas is a good buddy of mine. Yeah, I love it. Check it out, Ping, Miss Pup. Oh, there you go. Right on. What up? What up, Tomas? What up, Mossy?
That's awesome, Tomas. Yeah. So no, I think like I said, definitely not a big fan of the Paul brothers, but stealing the hat got me some points. I still don't think he'll beat Woodley. I still think Woodley will win that. Yeah. I mean, I think they did a rematch clause or something because he's I don't know, pretty sure he's going to lose, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know, but I know there's a rematch clause in there. So you have to get a rematch. But I mean, that's big money for both of them. It's sad that Woodley's going to make more doing that than when he actually was champ, which is kind of sad. But I mean, it's not my business, right? I'm just a fan. You know, I know that Dana's also built the business up from like basically cockfighting to like a worldwide sport that everybody loves, and in the States and in Canada, it's huge. I've been to some huge events over there, and they're awesome, man. It was like so my family's Mexican, so we were raised watching soccer and playing soccer, and World Cup is huge, and still World Cup is huge, but I mean, so it's right up there, man. I think UFC for me is, I'm gonna say, on par, if not, I like it a little bit more than watching soccer, man.
Wow.
And my family's gonna be not very happy about that, but hey, man, it is what it is, man. The good thing about it is in Taiwan, you can watch it Sunday at lunchtime. You can have your brunch and you can do whatever. That's the best. I think that helps a lot for me. When I was in Canada, I was actually watching it in the nighttime. It was almost like a culture shock. It's like, it's weird. Yeah. It was weird because when I was in the States,
you know, my friends would get the pay-per-view and we would make a night of it. It was super fun. Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Pizza, wings, you talk so much, you talk a lot of shit. You'd like,
of course. That's what you do.
You'd make your spot bets with your buddies. It was super fun.
For sure. I actually have a reasonably sized group now. It used to be small, that would come to the fights, and then we got this one guy, Taiwanese guy, John. We just call him Taiwan John, and he comes in and he's the best because he'll show up with me prelims. Like, I'll be here for prelims. I'll get a coffee and I'll just do like my own thing, right? And I'll watch the prelims by myself. He'll come at like 9:30. And I'll be like, kitchen opens at like 10. He's like, oh, I don't care. I came to drink beer, and he'll be drinking beer. So I'm like, awesome. So by 12, by noon, when the main events come on, John is loud, and everybody's like, whoa, like it's pretty cool. So Taiwan John, shout out to him. He's been coming for a long time, and it's great, man. I can't wait to see him again once all this COVID stuff passes.
I'm going to make an appearance one of these days.
Come, man.
I do like, I am one of those, I should warn you, I am one of those dirty casuals. Like, I don't know all the fighters, but I love a good fight. I love grappling. I do understand at least some of the strategy.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
But
it's good. Everybody's welcome. We get people like, Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh, no. I was just like, I really love the history of UFC, how like Gracie made it a thing.
Exactly.
To prove that BJJ was like the shit.
And then the story of the Gracie family when they're thinking, who are we going to put in there? I mean, let's pick our smallest guy, you know? And it was like, because the other brothers are massive, right? So they're like, well, if we just put a massive guy in there, it's not going to look as good. If we put the smallest guy in there, it's going to be good. Yeah. So man, no worries there. You're always welcome. Everyone's welcome. I mean, we get people come in. I mean, sometimes when Connor fought his last fight with, who did he? It was Poirier, right? So
Poirier.
He came in, and we had like reservations for like Taiwanese families and stuff. They're bringing their Taiwanese families were coming in to watch Connor's fight, and I was like, wow, okay, great. And I try to have a bottle of proper 12 in, and if people are watching fights, I'll just pour. I mean, it's like on the house, just kind of pour in these bottles of proper, and everyone gets a little bit. So while Connor fights, we're like, hey, I'm a big fan and I love him. So I'm a big fan of most of the guys. So it's tough to choose.
Yeah, right on, man.
So yeah, brother. So we can we can do whatever you want to do. If you want to do your questions first, or we can just keep going, whatever you want.
Sure, let's do this. Let me go ahead and start your intro. Podcast. And this is what I think is the best way to go about it. Instead of reading, I usually I do the intro separate.
Okay.
And then we'll just say hi Ed, and I'll go into the questions. All right.
Sounds fantastic. Let's do it.
All right. Hi Ed.
Hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me on the show.
Doing good. So hey, one of Eddy's Cantina's big draws is that it's a great place for friends and family to hang out and enjoy a meal, and sometimes fight or some other sporting event. So how has the ban on indoor dining affected business?
So as of yesterday, The dine-in was dead for about a month exactly. I think it was 4 weeks, and it's been it's been difficult for us. So last year, let me step back a little bit. Last year, when COVID actually exploded all over the world, I hired a developer. I have this developer guy from India who's fantastic, and I hired him to build an online ordering system for us. Right, so he built it last year. It cost a little bit, but it's beautiful. I love it. And
it looks nice.
The idea thanks, man. The idea was for him to build it from scratch. He was asking me, do you want to use WordPress? Do you want to use whatever? I said, give me a quote on if you build it from scratch and make it easily duplicatable, because I don't think I'm going to be the only one that needs it. And he's like, okay. So it took a little while. It cost a little bit of money, but it was done. It was about 95% done. And so nothing really happened last year. Actually, last year we probably had our best year ever. So we thought, we dodged the bullet. And I thought, okay, after all of this, I'll finish the last 5% this summer when things kind of slow down. And then all of a sudden, COVID came and bang, bang, bang. And all of a sudden, dine-in is over. So I messaged my guy, said, remember that thing we worked on last year? How many days do you need to get it done? Like we connected it to New EB Pay, like a local payment gateway company. It was all done. He just really needed to finish the last 5%. So I said, okay, how long? He said 3 days. I said, perfect. And like literally the fourth day was the day that the government said dine-in is over. We're going to keep level 3 and dine-in is over. So he says, okay, it's done. So I said, all right, it's done. Perfect. The night before, a friend of mine was going to order, and I said, do me a favor, use this link, order from this. It worked. And then Monday I said, okay, we're going live. My wife said, hey, we need to test it. I said, trial by fire. We're going to do it now. If we piss people off, we'll just give them freebies. Let's go. So that's kind of how I do things. And yeah, so far so good.
I think I used it on like the fourth day because I remember seeing on your Facebook.
Okay.
I made a note to myself. I'm like, order Eddys. And
okay, I appreciate that. Yeah.
And then I remember so I remember like seeing on the social media somebody said, oh, there was some mess up in my order. So I just kind of like also just I think it must have been Joe who responded to me. I said, hey, just so you know, I put my order in. She was really responsive. Yeah. Sent me 2 messages like, all right, I got your order. I'll let you know when it's about to come out. Done. Food was hot. Food was delicious. It was fantastic.
Awesome. Where are you located, if you don't mind me asking?
I am in Datong, so I'm just on the other side of. I'm just past like the Grand Hotel, just a little bit past on that bridge. So I'm a little bit far from you. So, but the delivery was still good.
Okay, good.
And I think it was actually one of your people who actually did the delivery because it didn't look like a Lala Move person. Actually, it was really funny.
So my idea was to get Lala Move, right?
Yeah.
And then in this area, we figured, okay, we'll use Lala Move, and we actually bought these again last year. These little like sort of Lala Move style backpacks and stuff for the food, and they just sat for like a year. And there was so many orders at the beginning. I was just like, give it to me. I'm driving it. So people were just like, well, I said, yeah, I'm going to drive it. And then I have a couple of my staff that are like, hey, let's do it. I'll drive it too. So we're driving. So most of the ones in this area will drive. And if it's a little too far, like the other day we delivered to Xindian. And I said, okay, wow.
Wow, that's far.
I'm going to get lost for sure. So, let's do the delivery. So yeah, it worked out pretty good, man. So far, so good. That's helped us a lot because most people, I don't know if most people know, and I don't want to be the guy who's crying from the hills, but Uber Eats and those platforms, they take a really, really huge percentage.
30%, right?
Yeah, 30 to 35, 30 if you're lucky,
Whoa.
35. So recently, starting this February, it's 35 for Uber Eats. And starting this February, the government cracked down on them. And like, you got to give the FAPIao, right? So Uber's telling us you got to give the FAPIao. So we thought, okay, Uber's going to, that's still going to be included in the 35. And it was like, no, it's not. So basically Uber's 40. Yeah. Right. So it's crazy. Yeah.
That's messed up.
Yeah. So that's why when I built mine, I want to do it so that I can, when it's pretty much done, but I want to offer it to more people and be like, hey, use this guy. Let's work something out because it's helped us a lot. I mean, for example, $100 goes out on Uber Eats. I mean, we get 60, but $100 goes out on ours. We pay like the 2.8% or something to the Taiwan gateway, and that's it. Yep. So it's good. It's good. And I think we could get it set up like that for more people, man. That's my plan anyway.
I hope more restaurants can actually manage that, because I think that was they didn't have the infrastructure. So you had the foresight to build the infrastructure out. Right. Yeah.
So it's not an easy thing to do, and it's really time consuming, but now it's done. And my guy, he made it to the point where, I mean, let's just say I'm talking to a couple of my friends of mine, a pizza guy and a barbecue guy. And it's like, it's going to be easily duplicated. And yeah, I mean, I thought of doing it something like an extra side sort of a business, but right now I don't really care. I just think I want restaurants to survive because it's tough, man. So I'm down to just, here you go. Here's my guy. He can use my system and just pay him because he's done a lot of work on the project. Yeah.
So how is it overall? How has it affected your business, profit and revenue?
So definitely 50% down from day one. Which is huge, and that's including like the online thing, because we were I would say 70-80% dine in at the beginning. We did have some to go, but for me at the time, switching fully to go, we knew it would be rough. So the online system helped us quite a bit, but we're still down like from day one about 50%. Weekends are tougher because weekends the income is a bit higher. But on a weekend, it's like it's way higher usually because people come in, they're getting margaritas and beers and local craft beer, beers and wing combos, and we got local craft on tap, and people come in, they fill growlers and stuff. The growlers has been working still, but so the alcohol sales are not quite zero, but
nearly zero.
Yeah, because the online platforms don't deliver alcohol. And we can't put it on ours because once we did that, it got rejected by the payment gateway.
I think it's illegal, right? So people are allowed to come. People are allowed to come in and pick up the booze.
But
they're not and take it away. But they're not allowed. So it's more like takeout for booze only, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, basically. I mean, a couple people nearby that are good customers, I'll zip down there with some beer, but it's not been much. It's not been that much. So when you take that out of the equation, it's a big dent. Yeah. And to be honest, 50%, when I tell most of the restaurant people that I know, they're like, wow, that's fantastic. We're like 70-80%. So that's why I really wanted to get this online thing done and just be like, if everyone had their own system. And I mean, for me, we got a scooter. We got students with scooters. Yeah. I'd rather give them a little bit of a bonus, and they can take it down the block, or I'll just do it myself. So
take it down better than in Datong, just like I said.
Sure. Yeah, that's what happens. Delivering to Datong, right? So it's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I know which guy delivered it. I got a couple of young Indonesian guys working for me, and these guys are killer, man. This guy's a killer, man. So I'm pretty sure it was him. Yeah, and to be honest, it's been fantastic with that, and unfortunately, in Taiwan, they're doing very well, and I think they've got it under control.
Looks like
under 100 cases for 2 days in a row. So I think the combination with that, and then the vaccination slowly rolling out, I think maybe July will be. I'm not saying it's back to normal, but I'm saying maybe mid-July we'll be able to do a little bit better. I hope so, man.
Yeah, and your location has a patio area, so I'm pretty sure like outdoor dining will open before everything else, right? Yeah.
So outdoor for sure. Hold on, we gotta check this out. Bam, do you know these guys, the Taiwan Observers?
Oh yeah, what's up?
You know these guys? What's up? Shout out to Taiwan Observer. We love you guys, man. We've got to get you guys back on the show. We will all do. So we're coming up on episode 100, and I want to do something special for that. I haven't really worked it out yet because COVID kind of like made a big mess, but I'd like to do like a little party or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll get all the past guests on, and we'll do something fun, man. But yeah, bro. So I think I mean, like I said, we've been working hard from day one. Like I've been delivering to like Nehu and Beito and all over the place in the rain. I mean, what was it the other day? It's crazy, man. The other day we had a family in Nehu, I believe, past Dacha, Nehu. they ordered a bunch of tamales, and so we're like, no problem. They're like, can we get them at 5:30? We're like, sure, no problem. And the Lala Move, it was raining. Lala Move was just like, hey, there's no drivers.
Right.
So everybody's kind of like panicking. And I come out of the kitchen. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, yeah, these tamales are supposed to be in Nehu like 10 minutes ago. And I said, all right, load it up. I'm going. So I went out and I delivered it. And it was quite a trek out there. But, you know, people were happy to get their food and it's good. I mean, we try to take an extra step out there. You know, that's just what you have to do, I think. Try to take that extra step, especially at these times. Yeah.
Well, I think you have the right attitude for a small business boss, which is what I have, which is that if you can't do stuff that you ask your employees to do, you probably don't have much business being a boss. That's my personal opinion. You
got to lead, right? You got to lead by example. I mean, for me, I didn't ask anybody to deliver. I was doing all the deliveries myself. And then one of my guy, the guy I was telling you, shout out to Buana, one of my staff. Yeah. He's like, hey man, I just got my license. I'll do it. You're the boss. You should be sitting here chilling. And I'm like, man, I'll do what I got to do to make sure that I got the money to pay everybody. I don't have to lay off anybody. I didn't lay off anybody. I mean, we cut a few part-time hours for the front of the house because there's no dine-in, right? But aside from that, my kitchen, all my full times, everybody's getting all their full benefits. I know a lot of places negotiated lower salaries and stuff like that and laid off people. We haven't had to do anything. And that's, I think, because everybody here is hustling. Right. So got to do it. Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I've been following your social media, like I said, and I'm really impressed by how you adapted. So can you just tell everybody about how you've, like, what are the things that you've done? So, for example, like the tamales. Okay, they obviously know about the delivery now, but what kind of other changes have you adapted? And do you think any of these changes are things that will like carry over even after COVID's done?
So first of all, yes, the online ordering system for sure. That's going to be running hopefully forever. That's going to be an extra additional income, hopefully, when things go back to normal. That's helped us tremendously. I think, so it was last week or so, it just started to really slow down. And this month started to look a little bit slow, even with online orders. Even the Uber Eats started to slow down. And I thought, okay, what are we going to do? We got these people, we got all this staff, we got to pay them. And everybody wants tamales, man. People started messaging me like, hey, when are you going to make tamales? Because you haven't made them in like 2-3 years. And I said, because there's so much work and you need an army to wrap it, or a Mexican grandma, which we don't have here. So you need one or the other. And like even the Mexican grandma, man, it's like a week. It's a week to make 100. You know? So shout out to all the Mexican grandmas that are like slanging tamales in the States and in Mexico, because if you're doing tamales on a daily basis, my Lord, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a ton.
It's crazy to do it right. I mean, we're grinding corn. We're doing like the broth for the dough. Like it's everything. We're doing every step. So we did. So I thought, okay, I'm going to put the post out there. I'm going to see if anybody wants them, you know? Oh, yeah. And tamales are the best quarantine food because you just got you throw them in the freezer. And they're like zhongzi. I love zhongzi. They're like zhongzi, right? So you just grab them out there. Like, I don't want to go outside. Just throw them in the steamer and you're good. So I put it out there and I got so many responses. And I thought, geez, this is actually overwhelming. I figured 100 max would sell. So I would do 6s and 10s, right? 6 and 12. Yep. And I put, and it's not cheap. Like I couldn't sell them too cheap because it's so much work. It's 3 days work, even with an army, 3 days to get them into the steamer, right? So I was like, okay, we got to pay these guys. Okay. So yeah, we sold them at a price. I said, let's put this out there and we'll see what happens. And then the online thing just kept blowing up for pre-orders of tamales. And then I was just going through all of, like, people were hitting me up on my messenger, on my line, on my Facebook for the Eddy Live, the Facebook for the Eddy's Cantina, like everything. It was just WhatsApp. Like, so it was just, they were all blowing up, Instagram. And I thought, okay, so I started to count them out. And from then till now, it's been almost 500 tamales, dude.
Oh man, it's
great. So much great. It's great. It's great because the week had been really slow. And then those are really, like, they're helping us out now. And things have, I'd say we're on the last couple of days of tamales. I need to make an announcement, but we're going to finish those soon. That's helped us a lot. I would say also we have a lot of sort of beer drinkers that live in the area, and we sell growlers. So we've done a lot of growlers, and some people, they have kids and stuff. They don't really want to go out. So I would swing by, grab the growlers, fill up the growlers and drop them off, and people were just like, they love that. And another thing would be like, they're thinking, okay, he's coming back with beer. Let's just order dinner. So they would order dinner and you're like, yes, okay, perfect. So you have to really I think you have to go the extra mile. I mean, I know a lot of places that, first of all, they just closed. They're like, government said, what was it, May 28th or something like that, or May 15th, the first time. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. And everybody closed. And I said, wow, you guys, I don't know if you've seen the rest of the world, but there's no way it's going to be 2 weeks.
No.
So, I mean, even with us, where it's like 2 months, that's already fantastic. Like for them to get it under 100. Yeah. That's already incredible. Nowhere else in the world can do that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to love living in Taiwan because we do. We're grinders, right? And I love it. I love it. And you're a grinder. I think that's really important, right?
Got to grind it out. So we've been driving food around. We've been, doing everything we had to do. And luckily, the podcast, like I said, way back at the beginning, it turned our Wednesday into a really busy day, and people come in and they want to try spicy wings. And we've got all these levels, and it pushed me to make a bunch more hot sauces. And then we bottle and sell hot sauces, and they're up on the online ordering thing. And people would be like, oh, you know what? Oh, this guy I'll buy a 6-pack of tortillas too. Oh, I'll buy a bottle of this hot sauce I saw on the show, blah, blah, blah. So little things kind of add up. I think you sort of incrementally need to keep adding things. Yep. And you need to build a community and really, really over, what is it? Over, what is it now? I'm losing it. Over deliver. Sorry.
Over deliver. Yeah.
Under promise, over deliver. Right. I think.
Right.
I keep. Yeah. Under promise, over deliver, and you have to, because, I mean, we're not the only place selling Mexican. We're not the only place selling food, but we're doing the Mexican, and we're doing hot sauces, and we're doing wings, and we're doing podcasts, and we're grinding our own corn, and we're delivering, and we're picking up your growlers, filling them up and dropping them off again. Like, we have new customers that would message me, and they're like, Buhao, our growlers are not Eddy's Cantina growlers. They're Jiangmen growlers. I'm like, I don't care. I'll come by and grab them. Sure. So I'd fill up Jiangmen growlers, and they're just like, wow, this is great. Fantastic.
And you make a really good point, which is that sometimes the difference is that value add, which is service.
I agree. I mean, for me, when I go to a place, first of all, right now, I usually go to the places, especially now, where if I'm going to spend my money, I know the owner, I know this guy's a great person, great place, great service. I won't really go to a random place right now, but I feel service is important. You got to have the food, the drink, the service. That's like the trifecta for me anyways. So it's worked for us. It's a long road. It's been a long road to get here, but it has definitely worked for us, man.
For sure. So I recently talked to somebody about government assistance programs. So have you guys applied for any, and how have they been for you? How's the experience been for you? So I have a Taiwanese accountant who's a really good friend of mine. He's in on all the news, and we actually, so May, the first week, I believe, was a week that there was no COVID or whatever. Right. That week was like probably the best week we ever had. So that put us over. I think you have to be around 50% or below. 50% or below. Yeah, that's right.
So we fought. So that week put us over, and also we fought really hard to still be making income. Yeah. So we're actually, first of all, the food director of this restaurant is me, because my wife is Taiwanese and we're married. And I mean, everything here, nothing's in my name. So I'm like, I got to have something, because I've been here for like 20 years. So we got that's in my name. But now because I'm a Waigoran here, I don't qualify for that stuff. So
I heard about that. But I heard that part changed, but the 50% part of 50% decrease of revenue part, you can't change, right? That's
so it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Do I want to go over 50%? Not really. So we're pushing really hard, and the tamales are doing well. That's and good. The beers and the growlers. I recently did a collab with Raul from Crafted. Yeah, he launched his own beer, and unfortunately it happened during COVID times. Yeah. So he's like, look, we're gonna get these basically these plastic bottles that seal reasonably well, and we're going to do one-way growlers. So I said, all right, bring them over. So the one-way growlers have helped, and also he's a pretty well-known guy as well from Crafted and Maji Square, great guy. And so people also love him, so they feel like also they're buying from us, they're supporting us, and they're supporting him. So that's helped us a lot and helped him a lot. So you have to, I think outside of the box a little bit. I know a lot of places, like I said, they just close, and I'm like, man, you can't just close because it's not going to be 2 weeks or even a month.
You got to grind it out.
And I'm positive, man. It's not going to be a month, you know. I'm super positive guy, but it's not gonna be a month, man. So it's looking like maybe July it might ease up a tiny bit, which is great, because if we can get it back down to like under 50 a day, under 25 a day, which it looks like it might be able to get like that in the next week or two.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I mean, the one thing was Dragon Boat. A lot of people traveled still. So our sort of safety marker for that would be, I think, this Friday. So if nothing happens before this Friday, I think we're good. And then we're back good, and everyone will be vaccinated by maybe September, October. But these couple months would be key. If we could still kind of like partially open, that'd be great. That would be great for us, because it is definitely tough. You see, even with the 50%, that's not really enough for surviving.
Not to mention, oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Like, we haven't paid ourselves.
Yeah.
We haven't, you know, so our savings are kind of like dwindling. So working 2-3 times more for half the income, but it's either that or throw in the towel, man. And we can't do that. So.
Let me ask you, I was going to say that my friends who own Ucha-Cha, the vegan place.
That place is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. That place is really good. Right. But they actually got the unemployment. The assistance from the government. But they said it's like really like half of what they promise. And they're just super upset about it. Because, you know, it's a situation where this is not the time to be messing around. So I was wondering if you had a similar experience with the government.
So we didn't even get to apply, because they said, look, you got to go under 50%. Or else, you know, it's not even worth it. So I thought to myself, you know, go under 50 or just grind that crap out of this place, and just everybody that walks by or walks in, try to upsell, you know, a growler of beer, or be like, hey, we got 6 tamales, just got steamed this morning. And we're delivering all over Tianmu daily. Like, ideally, I don't want to take anything. I don't want to borrow money. I don't want to, you know, I mean, the savings is taking a beating for sure.
Yep.
So, I mean, we had a meeting the other day with our staff, and most of them feel like unaffected. They're still coming to work. They feel happy. They feel safe. And I said, okay, good. All we need from you guys is just keep doing what you're doing. I will make sure there's customers. It's not your job. It's my job to make sure that you're busy. So we're pulling out all the stops. I mean, I'm stuffing those tamale videos in everybody's faces, you know, and it's crazy.
I get hungry watching them.
It's crazy. And you see some of the things you see, like a couple days ago, my guy got one of my main cooks is from Turkey, and he was in the back, and, you know, it's something that's normal for us. He was grinding the corn for the tamales. Right.
Yeah.
And I said a little video, man. And it's been pretty good. People are like, oh, I didn't know you grinded your own corn. I'm like, we've been doing that for over a year. So one thing that I've learned from all this is you got to keep posting stuff. And for me, I'm always posting like, hey, we got new beers on tap. Hey, this is my new podcast. Hey, you know, subscribe to the channel. But because I've been doing it for so long, it's been almost 15 years. I stopped. There was not that many food posts when I was going through there. And I thought, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. So I said, we need to put more food processing posts and stuff like that. What we're doing with the food, like our hard shell tacos. Yeah. We've been sending our hard shell tacos all over, and people are like, these are great. And I said, well, we make them. And they're like, well, how? I said, well, we grind the corn and we make the tortilla and then we fry them. And they're just like, wow, we didn't know that. Said,
sometimes people need to know the backstory about the food, because the backstory is marketing.
It really is. So food, when you're a small business owner, like, you know, you've got to be like that. You've got to have so many hats, and it's crazy. We haven't had a day off in a couple months, man, since it all happened. But I know people that are closed. So you know,
sure.
that I don't think they'll open again. So you got to do what you got to do, right?
For sure. So anyways, I could personally endorse your food, and I'm picky
Thanks,
about
man.
Mexican
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
because I'm from California, and we're picky about our for sure. But how about you plug the restaurant before we end this podcast?
Okay, so my name is Edgar Gonzalez. I was born in Canada, but my family is from Mexico. All of the food that we make in Eddy's Cantina in Tianmu, they all come from mom's recipes and grandma's recipes. Especially right now, we have tamales. That's all from grandma. And we haven't changed any recipes for Taiwan, but what we do is we use all local ingredients from Taiwan. I mean, we're not importing anything. We're using local corn. We're using local vegetables. We're using local everything. So it's not going to taste 100% exactly like something you'll get in Mexico, but I think that gives it its own sort of unique flavor. The real genius behind it is my mom. My mom raised me and my brother and sister in Canada. My parents are both Mexican, but they raised us in Canada, fully on Mexican food, where there's no Mexican ingredients. And that has helped me a lot here, because you got to come and you got to work with what you've got. I know people that import this and import that, and that's okay, but that's a slippery slope. I mean, the first time we were doing beans, we got imported beans, and by the time they get here, they're all shriveled up and dried, and they don't look good to me. So here, I go into the night market, the supermarkets, the fresh food markets or whatever, dry markets, local markets. So you go into a local market and I see these beans. They look exactly like pinto beans, but they're like nice and big and plump and fresh because they're from here. And I was asking the lady, what kind of beans it is? Oh, these are hua dou. And I said, okay, give me a kilo. So I take them home and we make them exactly the same way we would make pinto beans, and they taste pretty much the same. So, and it's probably better than the imported ones because they're fresh and they're from here, and there's no carbon footprint because everything's here. All of our chilies come from local farms in Danshui, down south in Pingdong. I mean, we're trying to make everything as good as we can with local ingredients. It's a lot more labor intensive, but it's been great. And one of the good things is it's healthy. Mexican food has a stigma of being really greasy and kind of a gut bomb, but we actually, we don't use lard. We try to make it healthy. I eat here pretty much every day. I have a little girl. She's 9. She eats here every day. We eat here every day. My customers, my staff, no one ever has any issues with the food. We try to make it healthy. We try to make it good, and we try to make it fresh. So that's basically Eddy's Cantina in a nutshell, bro.
Fantastic. And what is that website for online ordering that we talked about earlier?
If you want to order from Eddy's Cantina online, just go www.eddys.tw. That's www.eddys.tw. You'll come to our online ordering system, and we can ship all over. I've actually got some orders that I need to ship tonight to Kaohsiung for some frozen tamales, man. Crazy times, bro. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Ed.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Cool. Well, that's my podcast.
All right. Hey, that was fun. That was good. It's nice to just keep mixing it up, man. I think that there's people that, first of all, with a podcast, I love it when there's two podcasters going together, because I think all the podcasters get connected. We can really share some news on Taiwan. And I think Taiwan's, I've been here for almost 20 years, and it's like the best of, my family's from Mexico and I was born in Canada. It's the best of both worlds for me. I mean, Mexico's beautiful. Food's amazing. The night markets and all that stuff, a little bit dangerous in some areas, but then you got Canada that's not so dangerous. Canadian food, I mean, there's not that much going on food wise. There are some good ones there, but no night markets. Everything closes at 6. I mean, there's not much going on. So Taiwan has got the safety. It's got the great weather, fantastic people, great food. Taiwan is it's like Paradise Island, man. And we're looking like we've I don't want to jinx it. We've done well with COVID. Yeah.
Turn the corner here. Hey,
we've done well.
That was actually something that I couldn't figure out from looking at your website and your bio. So how did you end up in Taiwan?
So I actually coached, I was coaching soccer in Canada. Yeah. And that was going pretty good. And the other thing I was going to do career wise was police, RCMP in Canada, the Mounties, that red jacket stuff. Yeah. Because I've always been I've always wanted to help people. That's always what I've wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I have a lot of cousins that are, let's say, on the other side of the law. And when I was kind of announcing that, people were just like, what the hell? We're going to be busting your own cousins. I'm like, nah, man, let me just get it done. I want to take care of people. And so I did that. That went pretty well. I got all the way to the final interview. I was 21 and I failed that because they said I didn't have enough life experience. I didn't have, basically what that means is I hadn't seen anybody murdered. And I was like,
right.
Okay.
Oh man.
At 21, I was like, yeah, well, I haven't been, at a murder. So basically they're just like, you know what, reapply in 2 years. And I said, what should I do for 2 years? They're like, get life experience. And I finished my soccer gig that winter. That was winter 2002. And I had a friend that went to Taiwan. He said it was amazing. I always wanted to come to Asia. I looked at China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and I thought tropical island, no snow. Maybe I can learn Mandarin. Perfect. Let's go there first. And I came here. Well, I loved it, man. It was great. People are so fantastic. Teaching kindergarten, teaching English, coaching soccer. Great. It was fantastic. I loved it. And I planned on staying for a couple of years and then going back to reapply.
Right.
And then it's been almost 20 years, man. And I'm so happy that I didn't go back because although I do miss my family, I prefer Taiwan to Canada by far, dude. It's no contest. Yeah.
Well, I'm a director on the CanCham, and we have a lot of people like that, of course.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a director on the CanCham, and I know that you're a big sponsor. So I'm sorry that you didn't get to do Canada Day this year too. But that was just you were one of the big sponsors. You had the taco truck already and everything, if I remember correctly.
We try to do what we can, and this area. Tianmu, it's so expat heavy, right?
Yep.
And so when I built this place, we really made it for the stuff that I miss, the stuff that I know the expats are missing, but also Taiwanese that or ABCs that have been to California. I think California is very popular, right?
Yeah.
California, Texas, whatever, right? So all the sort of the southern states, it's pretty influenced by Mexican food, right? So I know a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
That they like. The first people that hit me up were not Mexicans. All the Americans were like, what? Tamales, let's go. The Mexicans were like, well, tamales are 10 cents in Mexico, so I want to pay that. And I'm like, good luck with that. You know what I mean? Because it's so much work. It's crazy, right?
I know.
So it's like Jongza being cheap here and going to like Iceland and then somebody and saying, hey, you know what? It's only like 20 NT in Taiwan. I want my Jongza for 20 NT in Iceland. So come on, man. Give me a break.
Get real. Come on.
Get real. Give me a break, man. Yeah. So basically, so the craft beer, the sports bar feel, the wings, everything. We try to combine it all here. Of course, Mexican food, but doing it the right way, grinding the corn up, doing everything. And it's been pretty good, man. Pretty good so far. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. And I think your story really resonates with me because I was only supposed to be here for a couple of years myself.
Oh, really? Okay.
I was here to visit. I was just taking a career break. I was like really kind of fed up with my Silicon Valley gig. And
tell me a bit about that. I love that. Yeah.
Oh, it's less interesting than you think. I mean, I got a degree in computer science, and I went to the place where I could get paid doing it, and that was fun. It was cool. Like being in that environment for a while, but it wasn't meant for me long term. So okay. I actually can't. It was a career break. Grandma was real old. She was like 95 or something like that. Sure. I said 2 years, just like you. Mm-hmm. And I met my now wife. Beautiful. And I was also just kind of going like, what's back there for me that I really, really need to like go back for? It's the same thing. It just sucks you in, right?
Yeah.
The place sucks you in.
It's the people are friendly. The weather's nice. You can fly almost anywhere from here, like really quick. I mean, you can have like snow in the mountains in Yangmingshan and then drive down to the beach in Kending in like 5 hours. I mean, I don't know. It's really a charming place. And I think it's been a hidden gem for so long. COVID has, the COVID success story here has helped a lot. Of course, there's, we got Big Brother watching, trying to suppress the news on it. But people are slowly starting to know that Taiwan is the gem. It's a hidden gem, and I'm hoping it's not going to be hidden for much longer because it deserves to be in the spotlight, man. I love it.
It absolutely does, right?
Yeah, for sure. Best place on earth, man. I love it. Best place. Sorry, someone's picking up the growler.
That's good, man. It's good that bro. Like everything keeps rolling, and you gotta man. I just have so much. I have so much respect for your grinding, your attitude.
Thank you.
And I like the fact that, as a small business owner who has the same attitude of, like everything, right? You see it. If you're the kind of small business owner that sees like stuff on the ground and then you say, "Hey, employee, go get that," as opposed to just picking it up yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
You're not the right kind of guy. Like you don't have the right kind of mindset to like run a small business personally.
I mean, Ray Kroc, right? The famous Ray Kroc from McDonald's.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, people would say they would often see him picking up the garbage in the parking lot, which is amazing, man. That's amazing. I love that. I love it.
Cleaning the grills. Yeah. Like
for sure.
He was famous for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing, man. I love it. But I want to actually ask you, tell me a little bit about your business. I mean, we got the podcast rolling and what is the business that you're doing, man? So people can know a little bit more.
Yeah, so we basically just do business English, right? So, I mean,
so needed here.
It really is, right? And our concept has really been that we are consultants because we don't just teach. We actually you bring your problems to us and we help you resolve your problems. And that was always been like the key to how we approach things. Obviously, I come from a corporate background. My wife comes from a corporate background. Our trainers, they come from corporate backgrounds. And so we kind of realized that as much as I liked working with a lot of, I liked doing this work, but the companies that I was working with, I didn't really feel like had the concept that I wanted to bring. And they didn't really have like the same kind of customer focus. And so we just kind of like you, super customer focused. Always trying to over deliver, making sure that people are satisfied, like being present for them, being there for them when you need them, when they need you is what I mean. And that's the key to our business. And I came up with the podcast because I realized that one of the things that people were having trouble with is understanding daily conversations. So I was agree. You know what I need to do? I need to have conversations with people about interesting topics. And which has like a bit of a business, which are relevant in the world at the moment, and so that they actually have that experience and then break it down for them in my podcast. So the podcast will introduce the topic. I'll put the interview in the middle. We'll actually have a Chinese translation.
I love that. Yeah.
That you can download. It takes a ton of work. My co-host Nan Quinn, shout out to him. He's awesome. He's a real trooper. And then at the end, we pick out some key phrases, vocab, slang, fun stuff. We're gonna have tons of cool slang that we could talk about.
That's fantastic
for our episode because most of mine are a little bit more buttoned down, but the one I did with you is way more fun. They'll have lots of cool slang that they can learn from our episode, and And that was it. I came up with the podcast because I was also, like you, I was thinking about how do I get more people to think about my company.
Think about me. Yeah. Don't forget about me. When you're at home. Don't forget about me. Yeah.
Yeah. Even when they're not necessarily immediately have a need, like people aren't necessarily like, how do you get people to think and Eddy's Cantina? Well, man, Eddy puts out some really fun podcasts. I'll just play it. Oh man, this is pretty fun. And then the word and the name and the face Eddy. Yeah, that was it. That was the same thing. I wanted to have a presence, and I realized
I think it's the best. Sorry, keep going.
It's also, let's be honest, you get a lot out of it, right? You love talking to people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We love talking to people, so that's why we podcast, right?
It's the truth, you know. One of the biggest parts of business is talking to people. You know, I mean, in this restaurant, we get people from we get students, we get Taiwanese families, we get CEOs of massive companies, and we get just a huge range of people. Other podcasters, we get like YouTubers and bloggers, and just it's a huge mix of people, MMA fighters, and just like.
Saw that.
It's crazy. We have such a mix of people, and when you're chatting with them, you think, oh man, if I just recorded that little conversation, that's gold, you know.
That's
and
gold.
So
that's
now
gold.
I got it. Now I got them. So I try to, you know, I don't prepare that much question wise. I do have like a list on the side, but I kind of just throw a keyword out there that I feel will trigger this good conversation. And it's just like, boom, you know, like for example, how did COVID change your business from, you know, in person to what it is now?
Well, it's the same thing. Like essentially, we have been really lucky that basically the rest of the world created the template for us to do our business.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
We know it's one of those things where Taiwan, although at the beginning when the big outbreak happened, of course, there was like all this complaints like, oh, we failed ourselves. We didn't learn enough about. I actually think that's not true. And we can look at it. We can look at these last 2 months and actually realize that it really wasn't true. We did learn, and we did actually do a good job. And all the people who were complaining that we should have gone to level 4 and truly locked down really weren't thinking about the Eddys of the world.
They weren't thinking about me, man. Shoot, you know?
Yeah. Like,
no, I think it's tough. It's very tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine restaurants back home where they all locked down that they'll never open again.
Yeah. That's brutal. It's just brutal. Yeah, and it's not good for the culture and the flavor of the city either. Like that is, you can't regain that. A restaurant may appear in that place again, but you'll never get that. It didn't have to be that way, right? It didn't have to be that way.
No, and the thing is, you have places that have been there for like Chinatowns or something that have been there for like 50, 100, 200 years. And, you know, some of the places they're not going to come back. And it's depressing. It's like, because for us, it's been about 15 years, which is a lot. But when you look at like the big boys, it's not that much. So to see a place that's gone through generations, to let's say like my granddaughter would still be running the Eddys, you know, brand. Right. That to see that close, that would be like, wow, that's
heartbreaking, right?
That's
heartbreaking. Right.
Yeah. Especially through no fault of their own. Just close it up, you know, COVID, stay home. So I was okay with the level 4 for maybe a week, but I mean, that would be, Max. I was of course hoping not, because back home, you know, again, we're shout out to Taiwan because they were talking about, you know, locking it down. And then they said, you know, it'll only be 2 weeks. Of course, it's not going to be 2 weeks. I was thinking it's going to be a couple months, maybe 2 months, 3 months max, because Taiwan's got it, man. And it's even blown me away. It's under 100 for 2 days in a row. And I know friends that have restaurants in Canada and the States. I'm in a lot of restaurant groups, and I talk to them, and they're like, they tell you it's going to be a month, but we're on like 15 months now. Yep. So, I mean, a lot of places, they just can't reopen. I couldn't close for 15 months. No. And it's hard. I mean, we still have to pay our house rent. You know, we still have to eat. We still have to do stuff. Right. Like it's tough. Like we haven't done anything, haven't spent any money. We've just been making sure staff's covered, rent's covered, everybody's good. You know, all the distributors, everybody's taken care of. Make sure. I mean, we're not starving, but we're making sure everybody's taken care of. Right. No big spending. We're eating here pretty much every single meal. It's okay. Yep. I love it. I love the food here, anyways. But I do like to go out and eat other food. You know, so a couple times a week, I'll still eat out, but I'll eat out where I know the owner and I know they're in my spot. Like I'm not going to McDonald's. I'm going to like. There's a place down the street called Louis Burger, and this a young family. They're fantastic people, fantastic food. And, you know, I just go in there and I'm like, how's business? And they're like, oh, I'm like, you know, we're almost there, Jayo, right? So we'll get through it. And so far, so good, man. So I think, after today, maybe in another week or so, hopefully it'll be under 50. And then, you know, we'll see how it goes.
Well, here's hoping that July, we kick ass. Yeah. August, we're like, you know, July, we kick ass, outdoor dining. August, 50%, maybe even 100% dining. Yeah. Vaccinations happen. And then as they like to say in Taiwan, it's going to be revenge vacation, revenge restaurant eating. Please. Everyone's going to be out for revenge because they're dying to eat at Eddys, right?
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, they're ordering food and they're helping us a lot. and it's good. But I even have some people that they come by and they're like, hey, I might have a quick beer. Can I just have a quick beer at the bar? And I'm like, oh, that's yeah. And they're like long time, changke, right? For a long time.
Yep.
And it's hard to say no, but then you see like all these places getting fined because they're letting people eat there still, and you're like, you can't, man. I can't be that one Waigoran guy on the news that just let the Waigoran guys drink at the bar. I can't. I'm like, I can't do it, man. I'll buy you a beer when it's over, but I can't do it. So
it's smart that you have that awareness that they'll make an example out of you.
Oh my God, I've seen so many examples, man. I've been here for 20 years, and I've seen that. And but overall, Taiwan's been great. I mean, the government assistance, it is what it is. But I also think you have to, you can't stop. I mean, I know that this area has been really supportive. I know people in other areas that were hit harder, like, Ximending and stuff like that. That's going to be tough. That's still going to be, even if we were there, it'd be harder. But here, I mean, we're just pushing. You just got to keep pushing day by day and just keep going, man. That's what I think anyway. I really don't have the throw in the towel mentality at all, because during this business over 14 years, we've been broke and broken so many times, and it's just when you build back up, it's like a muscle. You're like, you can't break this guy. So let's go. Let's keep going. What do we got?
To use an MMA term, you're not the kind of guy that taps out.
Exactly, not tapping out, man. I told some friends, and they were asking about it, and they're like, "Are you worried?" And I said, "Actually, I'm not worried at all, because if there's one motherfucker left, it's me, man. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
You're a cockroach. You're a cockroach.
Exactly, man. Cucaracha, right?
Survive.
If I got to go down the street, prohibition style with growlers and a box of tamales, I'm there. Like, I got a kid, I got a wife, I got a business, I got family, I got staff. I'll do what I got to do. So
and you got this here. You got this.
I got that, man. You got to make it happen, man.
You're creative and you're hungry, and not just hungry for tamales, but like literally hungry. You got to have that attitude.
I'm fine with no more tamales in my belly for a little while. Yeah. So come and buy them. Yeah.
I will. I'm on that.
Yeah. So I appreciate it, man. This was awesome, man. Once it's all done, we'll get you in. We'll do a proper show. Maybe on episode 100, I can get everybody back in. Taiwan Observer put another little Taiwan Observer put another little post in there. We were talking earlier about
episode 100, right?
Yeah, episode 100. So let's do it. I actually got hit up by a DJ here, and he's like, let's do episode 100. This was before COVID. He's like, let's do episode 100. He'll do like a DJ set. We'll have like a big party, and we'll try to invite everybody. So I mean, hopefully that's going to be what is it, 90? So maybe a couple months still. So 10, we should
10 episodes. That'll put you 10 episodes. You're 2.5 months away. Good timing.
Good timing. We should be able to be back. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think we'll be there.
I hope so. Yeah. But anyways, brother, man, thank you. I was actually listening to some of your shows. I listened to the one with Andrew Clerk. Shout out to him.
Andrew
Taipei
Clerk.
Impact Entrepreneurs. I love that guy. He's fantastic. He just did a mastermind thing. I really wanted to jump in on that, but I can't spend any money right now until this thing is done.
Yep.
There's also a couple other things. I saw that you were your intro. You're talking about cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
a little bit of crypto. I love crypto. Right. I'm a huge crypto guy, trade? Man. Yeah, I do. I mean, I recently. So I sold a bunch of my stuff at a high. I mean, I only started about 6 months ago, but I sold a bunch of my stuff at the high.
Good.
And then I actually with a couple of other friends, we went in and we built like a chia. Chia. We built like a chia farm. So we got like a chia farm. We got like a chia farm at my house. Yeah, we got about 600 terabytes of plotted chia stuff happening at my place.
Wow. How many hard drives? How many hard drives do you buy?
Oh my God, it's we got about 500 terabytes, man.
Oh,
550 maybe. It's between 4 guys. It's ridiculous. We bought a couple of towers that are plotting 24/7.
Yeah.
All the hard drives they're full, I believe, this week.
Yep.
So I think, I mean, I don't want to spend any more right now, but we'll sit there.
Right.
So I was saying I cashed out on a high, and I just said, I'm going to put this all into the chia farm and let's do it. So there's 4 of us, And yeah, I mean, we got quite a few. I mean, not a huge amount, but a decent amount of Chia. Right now, the market's crap, so
Right.
no one's we're not going to sell it now. But I mean, at one point, about a month ago or 2 months ago, Chia was about 1,500.
Yeah,
that's pretty good to me, right? So yeah, so I got that. I love crypto. Big fan of like yeah. Well, you yourself as well, yeah.
Well, yeah. The interesting thing, I have a lot more interest in crypto, but I haven't invested.
Okay.
I have a lot of friends, and of course, I come from a tech background, so that's like right up my alley. Yeah.
Yeah. So crypto. I mean, I have friends that are like, "You're doing crypto, you should jump into stocks," and I'm like, I don't really feel. I don't know. Crypto just feels easy. It just feels. I mean, not saying easy to make money, but it's just like, it just feels right. I don't know. The stock thing just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right for me. Maybe in the future, but yeah, when we were doing well earlier in the year, I did some crypto stuff, and before this whole crash. I made a little bit and I took it and I put it all into building a chia farm, and that's going pretty good. That's pretty cool. Crazy. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Because awesome. You're always thinking that you missed out on the Bitcoin mining and Ethereum mining. And then one guy, he's like, you know what? One of my past guests, shout out to Sasha Pallenberg. He's a big tech guy. And he's like, he was telling me about this. He's like, this thing's going to be released next week. And I'm like, you know what? The next time something happens, let me know. And then like 2 days later, he's like, hey, this is going to be good. And then my stuff was at a high, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to roll the dice again. I cashed everything out, and I'm like, let's go to the computer market and buy stuff.
Yeah, you go to Guanghua, and you just like
Guanghua.
Your stack of hard drives, your cases. That can like put nothing but hard drives. Yeah, man. Yeah,
the hard drives. And then we had a couple of towers that are just plotting. And the real genius was him, because he's on the Chia networks, and he's just like upgrading and doing all this stuff. And I've got all this stuff at my place, and I've got like high speed internet, and it's just, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man. The electricity hasn't been too much. That's bad.
Good, it's way better than GPU farms, man. GPU farms are just like, and right now, you know what? Like China has cracked down super hard on. So we're going to see a lot of used GPUs on the market. So actually, if you want it for games, or even if you don't want it for games and you think that crypto is going to go back up, buy your GPUs now, man. Yeah,
I think so, man. I think crypto will. I think crypto will go back
rebound,
up.
Right? It'll rebound.
For sure it will. Yeah, so yeah, I'm doing that. Those are the things I'm kind of working on right now, and obviously tamales. But aside from that, man, I'm thinking it's going to be good, and it's raining, which is also good because Taiwan needs the rain.
We need that rain.
Hey, man, things are looking up, and rain keeps people home, eating at home, and
people deliver. It's always good for delivery days. Not good for the delivery people, but it's good for the delivery. Yeah,
I've been. One more story. I was delivering a few packages, not packages, food. And you see those Uber Eats drivers where they have that little umbrella on their cell phone, and you're just kind of like, what is that? I don't have that. So I have the little connection thing on there, right? So I've got my phone. Where's my camera? So I got my phone here, and it starts raining, and then every raindrop that hits my phone would spin my Google Map. I was so like, I haven't been so angry in so long. Because my phone would just my Google Map kept spinning, and I'm like, this is Tiemu section 7 over there, but the Google Map's taking me over there, and I'm just like, what is going on here? And I was almost like very close to just going over the river, throwing the food in, throwing the scooter in, throwing the phone in, throw everything in the river, and I'm walking home, because I was like, what is going on here? I was losing it, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, but you're not that kind of guy. Remember, you're not
not that guy. So I pulled over, and I'm like, just stop for 5 minutes. Stop for a few minutes, and then let's go. Yeah. So I did it. I got the food there. I said, sorry, we're late. We had some technical difficulties. And then I delivered a couple more things. And then I told the staff, I'm like, I'm done for the day. I'm going home. I went home, showered. I watched the movie, and then I'm like, I'm going to bed. And then the next day, I'm like, I'm ready to go again. It was good. It was crazy, man. Yeah.
Sometimes everybody needs like a bit of a mental health break, and you needed
for sure.
That was yours, man. That was yours. I've had a couple.
Well, what we're doing is we live in the chaos when we're on the front line. It's crazy. So I agree, man. I agree. You got to have that break, man. We had to take that little bit of sanity and be like, I'm going to keep that, but the rest of my life can be completely madness and chaos, and I just need that little bit. So let me watch it. Watch a couple Pokemon episodes with my daughter.
Right on.
We're good. Yeah. Let's do it. Then we're good to go. Yeah.
Loving the daughter post too, by the way.
Yeah.
Her doing
Thanks, man. Yeah.
The butter chicken dance. Adorable.
Oh, she loved. So my daughter, she loves Mexican food, loves Indian food, loves onions and seasoning and spices. So, every time we go to an Indian restaurant that knows us, they give her own like bowl of onions, and she's just eating them like candy. It's crazy. It's crazy times, man. Yeah.
Amazing. All right.
All right on, brother. So I appreciate it. Thank you for doing this for me. I'll send you the link and I'll send you everything in a few minutes here. Yeah.
Right back at you, Eddie. Thank you very much for everything. Keep grinding. Don't tap out. I will put my order in for tamales real soon.
All right. Thank you. Do you want to have anything? Do you want to shout out to anybody? You want to mention anything before we cut it?
Nope, that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess if you need business English, or if you're looking to for a little bit of to do something interesting while you're in while everyone's kind of in lockdown, give us a shout. Find us. Our website is www.apex.lang.com.tw. That's pretty much it.
So send me the link. The links to the podcasts are in the description below.
Yep.
Send me the link to your business. I'll throw it in there as well.
Fantastic.
We'll catch you soon, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
so much.
Eddie. Thanks for having me on.
Catch you guys next